He didn't do the thing like I did though. Attention to detail, Laurence. Greetings! Baby, it's cold out there. There's also a song, but also we're at winter, which means it's cold, which means I'm going to learn some things about American objects. Yes, it's another reaction video by the one, the only, the wonderful Laurence Brown from Lost in the Pond. Everyone's going to start thinking I've got a bit of a man crush on him. I really wanted to react to this video, so I actually recommended this one to myself. Things that I think may come up on this is the snow blowers. My sister lived in Connecticut and Pennsylvania where they had quite a bit of snow during the winter seasons, and they had snow blowers and obviously like the big, what we say, shovel, I guess. It's like a big, yeah, big shovel. I don't know if that's the proper name for it, but yes, it's a big shovel. So I really cannot wait for this one. Can't go wrong with Laurence and Lost in the Pond. Links in the description as always. Check out the merch shop and you have a chance to appear on all my social media platforms. I'm going to shut up and stop my peddling. Let's get straight into it.
In England, I've never known weather that would sort of necessitate this kind of headgear. There's wind, but there's not sort of wind that brings along with it a wind chill of -1 billion. Hello, I'm Laurence and I'm on a quest to uncover all of the memos that Britain and America lost in the pond, and one of those memos pertains to the weather. Of course, the weather in both countries at this time of year gets a little cold, and we as human beings have to survive. In order to do so, we don't just shut ourselves in our houses and stick the heating on high. I mean, we do.
Yeah, we do. I will just say we don't get the severity of weather that you guys do, or some of you guys do in a lot of your states. Over here, if you get like an inch or a couple of inches of snow, everything shuts down, all the schools close, and all the kids run out and go, yeah, it's a snow day. And if you can't get to work sometimes, you know, you're snowed in, but it's not a lot of snow compared to what you guys have to put up with. I guess we're not really geared up for it. There's, you know, not really the budgets for massive machines coming down, clearing the roads and gritting, although we do have gritters for the roads, but not at the size that you guys have.
Do that. In fact, I mostly do that. But there are other ways in which we survive, and that is through the use of winter objects. Growing up in England, I will tell you now, there were certain winter objects with which I was familiar, you know, sledges instead of sleds, or toboggans. Did the same thing, pretty much. And just thin woolen gloves and snowballs. They're not an object, that's just snow.
Yeah, the woolen gloves. I always remember the woolen gloves. You get like, you try and do like a snowball and you just end up half of it just like sticking to the wall on your gloves. I mean, they're better now, they don't really stick so much, but it's like used to get entangled in all the wool, and then your hands end up really cold. One thing I was going to say, we have hot water bottles over here. I'm pretty sure I covered one of Laurence's videos before. It's like this big rubbery bottle that you put boiling water in, screw it up, and you normally put like a little covering over it. And you can either keep it in your bed before you go to bed, so when you get into bed, the whole bed's warm, so it's like a not a modern day, but like a bedpan kind of thing. Not, you don't go to the toilet in it; it just warms up the bed. Yes, do you guys? I don't think you guys have that, hot water bottles.
Congealed. But after moving to America, I realised there were actually a plethora of different objects I'd never encountered before because I never needed them. And so what we're going to do today is we are going to go down 1 to 5, actually no, in reverse order, 5 to 1, and look at the very objects about which I'm speaking.
Guys, I've just remembered about another thing. We have Wellington boots, or like big boots that sort of, you must have Wellington boots, big sort of rubbery boots that come up just below your knee, so you can go into snow and stuff. But now they've got ones that are not only lined on the inside, but you have batteries and they're actually heated up. I've never tried them, but I would like to try them. So it's a bit like heated boots. Lovely.
Now, before we do get underway here, just a quick disclaimer and a recap. The disclaimer being that some of these objects may well turn up in England. It's just that I didn't have cause to use them back in England, and I don't think that I was an outlier in that regard. Whereas the objects I'm about to talk about are actually quite commonplace here in the United States as opposed to in England. Okay, so that's the disclaimer. And the reminder is, when I first moved to the United States, I moved to the American Midwest. Very specifically, I moved to the middle of Indiana. I've since moved on to Chicago. Of course, in both places and in much of the northern United States, snow and cold weather is absolutely paramount. That's probably not the right word. There's an abundance of it, shall we say, and we'll be looking at that as compared to the UK in a future video. But without further ado, let's take a look at 5 winter objects I didn't use until I moved to America.
No
Well,
shovel.
this is an interesting one. So shovels absolutely exist in the United Kingdom. It's just that they're usually used for shoveling dirt. And because of the sort of rare event that is snow, you won't usually find somebody purchasing what is referred to as a snow shovel that's sold as a snow shovel. Because there are differences between a snow shovel and a regular shovel. Yeah,
Yeah, snow shovels like really wide, aren't they? So you can get like maximum amount of snow in and I think you know what I meant there. Where our sort of shovels are sort of a bit more narrower and you just sort of like, yeah, dirt and stuff. Normally made out of metal with a wooden handle.
it's usually size, because everything is bigger in America, and snow shovels are no different. And of course, snow itself is no different, at least here in the north. It was in my first winter here. My brother-in-law showed me how to use one. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory. It does what it says on the tin. Just grab it by the handle and the whatever that bit is, the neck, and do that and throw it. It's a lot of hard.
He didn't do the thing like I did, though. Attention to detail, Laurence.
Labour. Nobody tells you that going in, and my brother-in-law didn't tell me that going in, and I left with cramp in my arm. Actually, it would have been very useful if you'd have told me about the next entry on this list, you brother.
Snowblower!
Unfortunately, just like the shovel, I don't have one of those handy to show you because I rent these days. But they are absolutely brilliant. And again, I've only used one once, but it was the absolute coolest machine, literally, because it was...
It's like blows the snow off. Yeah. Yeah, do your drives, pathways and all sorts. Brilliant. Absolutely brilliant.
It's filled with snow. But the thing is about it, it's not filled with snow. I mean, it is temporarily, but what you do is you just push it along like this, right through the snow, and it just pushes all of the snow out to the side. It's a bit... Usually hits family members, brother-in-laws specifically. I did apologise at the time. And I still haven't spoken to him since. But they are absolutely amazing. We just don't have cause to use them much in the UK. You may see members of the council using them, but not actual human beings. So that was quite a revelation to realise that a lot of people had snowblowers just hanging around in their sheds. And the sheds were covered in snow too, so you had to use the snow shovel just to get into them. To get to the snowblower, it defeated the purpose entirely until you did the garden. Both of these come in handy when you're just trying to get through the snow and to your actual car. We experienced this for about 8 years when we owned a car while living in Indiana, and I will tell you, one of the worst jobs during winter is shoveling the snow away from the vehicle just so you can get out. Sometimes it gets 2 feet deep and, you can't even see your car, much less get in it. And then once you've cleared all that away, you've still got to contend with the ice on the windscreens. And you can either turn on the car, heat it all the way up.
Do you have antifreeze? So you have you can have like sprays or aerosols. You spray it on and then you leave it for a couple of minutes and just melts all the ice. I know you can get antifreeze in your jet washers. Sorry, that's a bit rude, isn't it? The jet washers that come up will have antifreeze in as well. But yeah, I'd be interested to know. Fords have a patented design where if you look at the windscreen, it's got like little jagged, a bit like the heaters at the back, but very, very fine, and you just put them on and it's really good, but I've only ever seen Ford cars have that. I'm not sure if it's the same for you guys over there. It must be.
And just sit for an hour until it all melts. That's not happening. Or something else you could do if you were in a rush, which was me most days because I slept through my...
Don't put boiling water on glass, it'd crack.
Alarm, is you could scrape all of that ice off with what is known as an ice scraper.
Yeah, we have ice scrapers.
Again, I think they have these in the UK, but they're only used really in very, very extreme circumstances.
No, I'll have one. I mean, I'm not disputing that at all. Just saying, in my personal opinion, I'll have one in the car, particularly in the winter. Obviously, you never use it in the summer, but winter, you'll get caught out. You're supposed to be at a meeting. You set your travel time up. You don't want to be spending ages getting rid of the ice. You've got a scraper and you just scrape it up. I've even seen ones with a glove mounted on, like a hot glove. Well, not a hot glove, but it's supposed to keep your hand warm, and it's like a gauntlet, and it's like glued to the handle of the scraper. So you just put your hand in and just do that, and it keeps your hand warm as well. Really good idea. Do you guys have that? I'm sure you must do. You must have that.
This is something that you will do multiple times every single winter up here in the Midwest of the United States. I know, I did it, and I got a return to that arm cramp that I got from the shovel. It's just...
What scrapers do you have? We just have like a handle with this scraper on top. Do you have I suppose that would make sense. You could get right across the car really, because you normally over here you have to do it in 2 parts. So you go around one side, do like the driver's side. You know what scraping looks like, and you go around the bonnet, or the hood, and then scrape the other side, like the passenger side, and you go around the windows. And then by the time you get to the back window, obviously the car's on. Normally, by the time you get back to the back window, the back heaters would have started to melt it, so it's quite easy to take off. Oh, shut up.
It is just one long winter of arm cramp. I will say this, though, there is something quite pleasing about that. If you're wearing the right gloves and it's not too cold out, never do the ice scraping without gloves.
Yeah, I've done that quite a few times, and your hands are freezing.
Because you'll regret it 5 minutes after getting into the car. But if you've got gloves on and you're doing that, it is quite cathartic. You know, so long as you don't break the windscreen. Sometimes it feels like you are doing that because you're scraping off basically ice, which can look and sound like glass. And then once you've scraped off all the ice, right, and there's just sort of bits of powdery ice on the windscreen and bits of snow, the best thing then to do is just open the door and slam it, and you just cause this sort of little avalanche on the car. So long as you don't cause an actual avalanche. You know, if you're living in the mountains, just be careful. I mentioned...
Sometimes you do get ice on the inside of the car as well, which can be... it can go away quite easily just with the heaters.
The gloves, it is very important to have good gloves, but equally important while you're wading through all of this snow is our fourth entry.
Oh, winter boots.
I truly didn't believe how bad it was going to get in the Midwest until I actually saw it with my own eyes. So after doing all of the shoveling or the snow blowing or the scraping of the ice, I realized that I'd made the mistake of wearing sneakers in the snow the whole time. Don't do that, because there's a number of reasons. Firstly, the snow gets inside your shoe. You don't want that.
Yeah, it's not waterproof as well.
And also, it's just cold and wet all round. So you need to be able to keep your feet warm. I think that's almost the
and dry.
most important thing, because those are the things that are going into the actual snow. So to do that, you have to have one of these. Well, not one. You need two. They would be really silly if you only.
Those are really, really good. Really, really good. Keep your feet dry. Keep your feet warm. Brilliant.
Yeah, one. It's a boot, but look at it. It's bigger than me.
It is.
And I have
It's bigger than it is bigger than Laurence. How big are your feet, Laurence?
to get inside this. It is, you do feel protected. I feel like a foot soldier when I'm wearing this, and I do have another one just for the record. It's right here. Sorry, they've not been cleaned since last winter. I'll get round to that. Put one of them down because they are cumbersome and heavy. Arm cramp, again, arm cramp is the thing that happens in winter. But they are absolutely amazing, and they do keep your feet warm. There's absolutely no doubt about that. And if you're ever set upon by an enemy, just kick them between the legs with this and they'll never come after you again. It's really, though, two boots. It's this black boot right there that you see. But inside it is this sort of... I'm going to pull it out. Look at that. It looks like a wrestling boot. I've never noticed that before. Again, if somebody comes at you, just pretend you are Ric Flair. Put that down. They're really good. I love them. I've had these 2 years. Absolutely need them in Chicago, especially if you're cycling in Chicago. That's nuts. Who does that in the snow? I did last winter. I'm a brave soul. I wouldn't be quite as brave, though, if I didn't have the final entry on this list.
Before we get to the final entry, if you are enjoying the video, don't forget to drop a like, because it really helps me out. Bloody love you. Face shield. Face shield. Face shield. I don't know. If you're on a motorbike, face shield. Do you have face shields just walking around? You know, I know the whole safety thing at the moment, but we're talking about winter stuff now. Face shield. No idea. Why would you want a face shield? Is it to stop the snow coming in your face and the cold or something? I've not seen people with face shields in the snow.
So this is a face shield, and
we'd call that a balaclava. You know, you either use it for, you know, one of two reasons. One, you're cold, or two, you want to rob a bank.
You know, what its important job is that not only does it sort of keep snow off you and things like that, the important thing that it does is it keeps the cold wind, the harsh wind of Chicago off you. It also keeps those people that come at you off you. They'll think you're a Bond baddie and call MI6 or something. I don't know why I'm wearing this. Sorry if it looks terrifying. I'll take it down because there's no wind in here. I don't really need it. And actually, it's making it very hard to breathe. which isn't good when you're trying to present a video. But this is one of the best acquisitions I ever made as an athlete here in Chicago. I'm not an athlete. I mean, I ride to work for recreation. I wouldn't be seen dead wearing this in England. There'd be no reason to wear this in England. You know, you don't want to wear one of these while it's raining. That's for sure.
You would look really, what we say, dodgy. Dodgy means like you're going to be up to no good. You know, vandalism, graffiti, robbery or something, you know, that you don't want to get your face seen.
Because it would just get soaked all round. In England, I've never known weather that would sort of necessitate this kind of headgear. There's wind, but there's not sort of wind that brings along with it a wind chill of minus a billion. I'm trying to think of a scenario in which you would need it. It doesn't quite go with the tweed hat. But I absolutely love it on me. My wife loves it on me.
I know.
What do you mean you don't?
Wow, that was brilliant. Really enjoyed that, guys. Did you enjoy it? If there's anything you'd like to add to this, let me know in the comments below. Yet again, another fantastic installment by the legend that is Laurence Brown. Again, links in the description. Go check him out. Go support him. Lovely guy, lovely channel. One of the few YouTubers that have actually got back to me. Lovely guy. And again, I am Mr. H on the mission to learn all things USA. If you are new to the channel and that sounds good, then don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell. You'll be notified every time I upload a new video. If you'd like to support the channel even more, we do have a join and members section. Check out the link in the pinned comments for all the fun, packed perks. And all that leaves me to say, Mr. H, you're my friends, is take care, God bless. See you on the next video.